Dr. Krixala adjusted the translation device on her multi-jointed appendage, her large iridescent eyes blinking with intense curiosity. The Xylarian research vessel had been orbiting Earth for 3 standard cycles, and today marked their first direct communication with human representatives. The space station's communication room hummed with quiet anticipation. Jay Park stood near the viewing window, his posture calm but alert. Beside him, Yuna Kim reviewed some technical documents, her fingers moving quickly across a digital tablet. "Greetings," Dr. Krixala began, her voice translated into perfect Korean. "We are conducting a comprehensive study of reproductive strategies across galactic civilizations." Jay raised an eyebrow, a subtle human gesture of surprise that fascinated the alien researcher. Yuna simply smiled. A reaction Dr. Krixala had learned indicated mild amusement or acceptance. "You want to discuss human reproduction?" Jay asked, his tone neutral but slightly cautious. Dr. Krixala's external membrane shifted color, a Xylarian expression of excitement. "Precisely. Our initial data suggests your species has a remarkably complex approach to genetic continuation." Yuna chuckled softly. "Complex is one way to describe it." The alien researcher leaned forward, her multiple sensory tentacles quivering with scientific enthusiasm. On Xylaria, reproduction was a purely functional process, efficient, quick, and entirely detached from emotional connection. Genetic material was exchanged through precise biological protocols, with offspring developed in carefully controlled environmental chambers. Humans, however, seemed to have an entirely different system. Our preliminary research indicates that human reproduction involves extensive emotional preparation, long-term partnership commitments, and intricate social rituals, Dr. Krixala stated. "Is this accurate?" Jay and Yuna exchanged a quick glance. Another fascinating human communication method that suggested deeper, unspoken understanding. "Well," Jay began, "humans don't just reproduce. We create families. We form deep emotional bonds. Our children aren't just genetic transfers, they're lifelong connections." Dr. Krixala's sensory appendages vibrated with increasing excitement. Each word from the humans was revealing layers of complexity her species had never imagined possible. Yuna noticed the alien's reaction. "Are you excited?" she asked, her tone a mixture of amusement and genuine curiosity. "Excitement is an inadequate human term," Dr. Krixala responded. "I am experiencing profound scientific revelation. Your reproductive strategy challenges every biological understanding in our galactic database." The space station's ambient lighting caught the alien's translucent skin, creating a soft, shimmering effect. Jay found himself momentarily distracted by the beautiful, almost ethereal appearance of their extraterrestrial visitor. "Do you have specific questions?" Yuna offered, recognizing the researcher's intense intellectual curiosity. Dr. Krixala's primary communication orb pulsed with soft blue light, another indication of intense cognitive processing. "How do you select reproductive partners? What determines genetic compatibility? What emotional and social mechanisms guide your selection process?" The questions came rapid fire, each more intricate than the last. Jay laughed, a sound that made the alien's sensory tentacles curl in surprise. Laughter, another complex human emotional expression that defied simple categorization. "It's not a scientific formula," Jay explained. "Sometimes it's about love, sometimes compatibility, sometimes pure chance. Humans are wonderfully unpredictable." Unpredictability. Another concept that would require extensive research and documentation. Dr. Krixala realized this initial encounter would generate volumes of research. Humanity was not just another species to be categorized and filed. They were a complex, emotional, beautifully chaotic civilization that would challenge every existing scientific understanding. "We have much to discuss," the alien researcher said, her translation device capturing the mix of excitement and profound respect in her voice. Jay and Yuna smiled, a gesture that, to Dr. Krixala, now represented so much more than a simple facial movement. It was an invitation, a communication, a bridge between two incredibly different worlds. The first of many conversations had just begun. The research vessel's communication chamber felt different during the second meeting. Hyun Choi and Yoon Lee sat across from Dr. Krixala, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and mild reservation. Dr. Krixala's sensory tentacles trembled with anticipation. Her previous conversation with Jay and Yuna had revealed fascinating glimpses into human reproductive complexity, but she needed more details. Today, the alien researcher began, "We want to understand your cultural approach to partnership and reproduction." Hyun shifted in his seat. His hands, a fascinating human communication tool, moved slightly as he spoke. "It's not a simple process. Humans don't just decide to have children. There's emotion, commitment, understanding." Yoon nodded, her eyes reflecting a depth of experience that intrigued the alien researcher. Reproduction for humans isn't just about creating offspring. It's about creating a family, building a shared life. Dr. Krixala's translation device captured every nuance. On Xylaria, reproduction was a calculated genetic exchange. Here, humans spoke of something entirely different, a complex emotional journey. "Tell me about your selection process," the alien requested, her primary communication orb pulsing with soft blue light. Hyun chuckled. "We don't have a process. Sometimes people fall in love. Sometimes they build a connection over time. Sometimes they decide together that they want to raise a child." The concept of falling in love was entirely alien to Xylarian understanding. Their species selected reproductive partners based on genetic compatibility algorithms. Humans seemed to rely on something far more unpredictable: emotional connection. Yoon leaned forward, her voice soft but clear. "We prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. Having a child is a huge responsibility. It changes everything in your life." Dr. Krixala's tentacles curled in fascination. Mental and emotional preparation. This was not a standard biological protocol. This was a sophisticated social mechanism that defied simple scientific categorization. "How do you ensure genetic health?" the researcher asked, her scientific mind seeking concrete data. Hyun explained medical screenings, genetic counseling, and the complex ways humans evaluated potential health risks. But he also spoke about love, about choosing a partner not just for biological compatibility, but for shared dreams and emotional connection. The space station's ambient lighting created soft shadows, highlighting the humans' animated expressions. Dr. Krixala realized that human communication involved far more than verbal language. Facial expressions, hand movements, tone of voice, all carried intricate layers of meaning. "Do all humans approach reproduction similarly?" the alien researcher inquired. Yoon smiled, a gesture that Dr. Krixala now understood represented multiple emotional states. "No. Every culture, every individual has a different approach. Some prioritize traditional family structures. Some choose alternative paths. Some decide not to have children at all. Choice, individual preference." These were radical concepts in Xylarian reproductive understanding. Hyun shared stories of adoption, of families created through different methods. He spoke about same-sex partnerships, about single parents, about the diverse ways humans created familial bonds. Dr. Krixala's research documentation was expanding exponentially. Each human conversation revealed layers of complexity that challenged every existing galactic understanding of reproduction. "Fascinating," the alien whispered, her translation device capturing a tone of genuine wonder. The humans exchanged knowing glances, another intricate communication method that suggested deeper, unspoken understanding. As the meeting concluded, Dr. Krixala realized she was witnessing something extraordinary. Humans were not just reproducing. They were creating complex social ecosystems, emotional networks that transformed genetic transfer into a profound life experience. The research vessel's databases would require significant updates. Humanity was not just another species to be studied. They were a remarkable, beautifully complex civilization that defied simple scientific categorization. Hyun and Yoon smiled, unaware that their simple conversation had just revolutionized an alien species' understanding of life itself. Dr. Krixala's research vessel hummed with anticipation. Sung Wang and He Jin arrived for the next interview, bringing with them a stack of personal documents and medical records. The alien researchers' sensory tentacles quivered with excitement. Today's mission: understanding the emotional depth of human reproductive connections. We want to explore how humans build emotional bonds, Dr. Krixala explained, her translation device converting her complex alien language into clear Korean. Sung leaned forward, his hands clasped together. Emotional bonds are everything in human relationships. It's not just about having children. It's about creating a shared life journey. Hyejin nodded, her eyes reflecting years of personal experience. When my partner and I decided to have a child, we spent months talking, planning, understanding each other's dreams. Dr. Krixala's primary communication orb pulsed with a soft, blue light, her species' equivalent of intense concentration. On Xylaria, reproductive partnerships were clinical, efficient, calculated. Humans seemed to be writing an entirely different narrative. How do you prepare emotionally? The alien researcher asked. Sung shared their story. They had met in university, built a friendship, developed a deeper connection, and then decided to explore a romantic relationship. Years of mutual understanding preceded their decision to have a child. We went to counseling, He-Jin added. We discussed our fears, our hopes, our individual and shared expectations. The concept was revolutionary. Emotional preparation, mutual understanding, psychological alignment before biological reproduction. Dr. Krixala's research documentation expanded rapidly. Each word revealed a complex emotional ecosystem that defied traditional scientific understanding. Do all humans approach reproduction this way? She inquired. No, Sung responded honestly. Some are more traditional, some are more spontaneous. Some choose different paths. That's the beauty of human diversity. Diversity, another concept that challenged Xylarian rigid biological protocols. Hyejin spoke about the emotional journey of pregnancy, the physical changes, the psychological transformations, the profound connection between potential parents. We talk to our unborn child, she said. We play music. We share our hopes. We create an emotional environment before the child is even born. Dr. Krixala's tentacles curled in fascination. Talking to an unborn child? Creating an emotional environment? These were not biological strategies. These were intricate social and psychological mechanisms. The space station's soft lighting created gentle shadows, highlighting the human's animated expressions. Every gesture, every tone shift carried multiple layers of meaning. Sung described the support systems, family networks, friend circles, community structures that supported new parents, emotional and practical assistance that extended far beyond immediate biological needs. We don't just create a child, Hyejin explained. We create a support network, a community that helps raise that child. Community reproduction, a concept entirely alien to Xylarian understanding. Dr. Krixala's research was no longer just a scientific exploration. It was a profound cultural investigation into the depths of human emotional intelligence. How do you manage potential emotional challenges? The alien researcher asked. They spoke about therapy, communication, mutual respect, the complex ways humans navigated emotional landscapes, addressing potential conflicts, supporting each other through challenging times. The interview felt less like a research session and more like a deep, meaningful conversation about the essence of human connection. As the meeting concluded, Dr. Krixala realized something extraordinary. Humans were not just reproducing. They were creating living, breathing, emotional ecosystems. Each child was not just a genetic transfer, but a carefully nurtured emotional journey. Sung and He-Jin smiled, a gesture that now represented so much more than a simple facial movement. It was an invitation, a communication, a bridge of understanding between two incredibly different worlds. The Xylarian research vessel's databases would never be the same. Humanity had just rewritten the definition of reproduction. The medical research chamber gleamed with advanced equipment. Dae Kim and Sue Park arrived, carrying detailed genetic reports and medical histories. Dr. Krixala's sensory tentacles vibrated with scientific anticipation. Today, the alien researcher announced, we explore human biological reproduction mechanisms. Dae smiled, a gesture that carried multiple layers of meaning. Humans are walking biological miracles, he said simply. Sue spread out several medical charts. Complex genetic maps showed intricate human DNA patterns that seemed to dance with unexpected complexity. Each chromosome told a story far more nuanced than simple genetic transfer. Dr. Krixala's primary communication orb pulsed deep, blue. Her species understood genetics as a precise mathematical equation. Humans presented something entirely different, a living, breathing genetic symphony. Our genetic inheritance is not just about physical traits, Sue explained. We carry emotional memories, potential predispositions, complex biological narratives. The alien researcher's translation device captured every subtle nuance. Genetic inheritance wasn't just about physical characteristics. It was about transferring complex biological and psychological potential. Dae described human genetic screening processes, how potential parents investigated inherited health risks, how medical technologies allowed unprecedented understanding of genetic potential. We can detect potential health challenges before conception, he said. But we also understand that genetics is not destiny. Not destiny. Another revolutionary concept that challenged standard biological understanding. Sue shared how human bodies prepared for reproduction, hormonal changes, physiological transformations, the incredible biological machinery that supported human pregnancy. A woman's body becomes a complete life support system, she explained. It adapts, it changes, it creates an entire living environment for another human. Dr. Krixala's research documentation expanded exponentially. Each explanation revealed layers of biological complexity that defied simple scientific categorization. The space station's medical scanners captured subtle interactions between Dae and Sue. Their body languages suggested deep mutual understanding, a biological synchronization that went beyond verbal communication. How do human bodies select optimal reproductive moments? The alien researcher inquired. They explained complex hormonal cycles, biological rhythms, the intricate dance of chemical signals that suggested optimal reproductive windows. But they also spoke about choice, about human ability to override or work with these biological signals, about medical technologies that expanded reproductive possibilities. Dr. Krixala learned about fertility treatments, about how humans could now create life through multiple technological interventions, about the ways medical science had transformed reproductive possibilities. We can help people who traditionally couldn't have children, Dae said. We can create families through multiple methods. Families, not just genetic transfers. Complex, emotional and biological ecosystems. Sue described human immune system complexities, how a pregnant body managed to support a genetically different organism without rejecting it, how human biology represented a remarkable balance of protection and adaptation. Our bodies are intelligent, she said. They negotiate, they communicate, they adapt. The alien researcher's tentacles curled in pure scientific excitement. Each explanation challenged existing galactic biological understanding. Human reproduction wasn't just a biological process. It was a complex negotiation between genetic potential, medical technology, emotional readiness, and individual choice. As the meeting concluded, Dr. Krixala realized she was documenting something extraordinary. Humans had transformed reproduction from a simple genetic transfer into a profound, complex life journey. Dae and Sue smiled, a gesture that now represented scientific wonder, emotional depth, and the incredible potential of biological life. The Xylarian research vessel's databases would require complete reconstruction. Humanity had just rewritten the definition of biological complexity. Dr. Krixala's final documentation note captured the essence of her discovery. Humans are not just a species. They are a living, breathing, constantly evolving biological miracle. The Interstellar Research Council chamber buzzed with anticipation. Delegates from hundreds of galactic civilizations gathered, their various biological forms creating a mesmerizing tableau of cosmic diversity. Dr. Krixala stood at the central presentation platform, her research documentation contained in a shimmering holographic display. Humanity, she began, her translated voice clear and confident, represents the most emotionally complex reproductive strategy in known galactic history. Murmurs rippled through the assembled alien representatives. Some looked confused, others appeared intrigued. Dr. Krixala's primary communication orb pulsed with an intense blue light, a signal of groundbreaking scientific revelation. Her multiple, sensory tentacles moved precisely, activating complex holographic displays showing human reproductive dynamics. Traditional galactic understanding suggested reproduction as a purely biological function, she explained. Humans have transformed it into a profound emotional and social journey. The holographic displays showed intricate human relationship networks, adoption processes, fertility treatments, complex family structures that defied simple genetic categorization. A Krellian delegate raised a tentacle. "Explain the emotional complexity," he demanded. Dr. Krixala shared detailed research. How humans didn't just transfer genetic material. They created entire support systems, emotional networks, communities that nurtured and protected new life. Humans prepare mentally and emotionally for reproduction, she demonstrated. They undergo psychological counseling. They discuss potential challenges. They build comprehensive support structures. The Andromedan Scientific Council leaned forward. Their crystalline communication nodes flickered with intense curiosity. Detailed presentations revealed human reproductive strategies, medical screenings, genetic counseling, the ways humans balanced biological potential with emotional readiness. They can detect potential genetic challenges, Dr. Krixala continued. But they also understand that genetics is not absolute destiny. Humans create environments that support individual potential. The room grew quieter. Each alien delegation began understanding the profound implications of human reproductive strategies, genetic flexibility, emotional intelligence, community support. These were not just biological mechanisms. They were sophisticated social technologies. Dr. Krixala shared research documenting human reproductive diversity, same-sex partnerships, single parenthood, adoption, multiple family structures that challenge traditional reproductive understanding. Humans do not follow a single reproductive protocol, she explained. They create personalized life strategies. They adapt. They transform. The Galactic Research Council members exchanged complex communication signals. Some appeared skeptical. Others seemed genuinely amazed. Holographic displays showed human medical technologies, fertility treatments, genetic screening processes, the ways humans expanded reproductive possibilities beyond traditional biological limitations. They can now create life through multiple technological interventions, Dr. Krixala demonstrated. They have transformed reproduction from a biological requirement into a conscious emotional choice. A senior Xylarian research director interrupted. But is this efficient? Is this scientifically rational? Dr. Krixala's response was immediate. Efficiency is not just about speed or mathematical precision. Humans have created a reproductive strategy that prioritizes individual potential, emotional health, and community support. The room fell silent. Her final presentation revealed something extraordinary. Humans weren't just reproducing. They were creating living, breathing emotional ecosystems. Each child represented a carefully nurtured potential, supported by complex social and emotional networks. Humanity, Dr. Krixala concluded, represents the most sophisticated reproductive strategy in known galactic history. The Interstellar Research Council erupted in complex communication signals. Excitement, confusion, profound scientific respect. Humanity had just been recognized not just as a species, but as a remarkable example of biological and emotional evolution. The presentation concluded. Dr. Krixala's sensory tentacles curled with quiet satisfaction. Her research had transformed galactic understanding of reproduction. The universe would never be the same.